What up, y'all? Happy Friday. Texas Roots and Fruits here. We got another video for you guys. If you guys saw my first video, it was kind of just an overview of all the trees that I got, and I wanted to do more in-depth videos for each of them. Kind of, explain to you guys what I did as far as the soil, digging, the fruiting, fertilizer, watering, etc. So let's jump into it. This is my Poncho avocado tree. So this is a Mexican variety, guys. Typically in the stores you don't see Mexican varieties just because the shelf life isn't very good. What you see in the stores is you typically Hass avocados. They have that thick, black, bumpy skin. The Poncho avocado has really thin skin. It's green but thin, so it bruises easily, so it doesn't really hold well on the shelves. As far as the taste, it's buttery with a creamy texture. The fruits are typically 6 to 8 ounces, so a little bit smaller than your typical avocado, but still really good tasting. And this is one tree I would highly recommend for you guys in Zone 9, Central Texas. This is, as far as avocado trees goes, this is an extremely cold hardy one. Once established, they can withstand temperatures of 15 to 20 degrees. So, that's obviously really good down here in Texas because we do get some cold winters. I'd still recommend covering it, just to be safe. Definitely the first year. I planted this in May of 24. So I will still be covering it and making sure it's good to go in the wintertime. But let's go to my fertilizer, my soil, and the digging. So here I dug a 4x4 square hole. You guys can kind of see it's on a mound. And reason for that is because the soil here is extremely clay heavy. That's the one downside here, guys. If you guys are in my area, the soil is really clay heavy. So I put it on a mound, obviously, to keep the water being able to drain well off the roots. You guys don't want your fruit tree roots sitting in stagnant water. They do not like that. So that's why I put it on a mound. Like I said, a 4x4 square is what I dug. About a spade and a half deep, shovel length, spade and a half. And on the bottom, I layered it with old dead oak logs. Reason being is just so I don't have to use as much dirt to backfill. And once that stuff breaks down, all the logs, it's really good nutrients for the trees. So that's why I did that. As far as the soil that I backfilled it with, I did obviously a little bit of the natural soil, so the clay, and then 1/3 of sphagnum peat moss, 1/3 compost, and 1/3 topsoil. So I mixed that all up. And obviously you want to heavy mulch the top, guys. I did that as well. This stuff right here is really good. I sprinkled this around the whole root ball before planting. It's just a beneficial fungi. It helps with, promote good root growth and structure. So I would highly recommend using this. I've used it on all my trees and it's helped out a lot. As far as fertilizer, guys, here we go. Let me show you this real quick. This is the fertilizer I will be using, 646 NPK. I haven't used any fertilizer yet because, like I said, this has only been planted in May of 24. So next spring I will be starting fertilizing. Don't forget that, guys. A lot of people tend to plant. Let me just giving you guys a 360. But a lot of you guys tend to plant trees. And the first year it does really good. And then the next year it'll kind of start struggling. And that's because all those fertilizer and all the nutrients in that soil that you guys, put around the tree, they're gone. So you gotta re-up the soil. And as far as the soil here, like I said, it's clay. So I will be doing a lot of amending. I've already been laying gypsum down to help out, break up the clay. But I will be adding a lot of compost and topsoil around the trees that I have. And eventually over time, that will help break down the clay soil. It's something you got to work at. It's not going to happen overnight. It takes a long time and it's a lot of work. So just keep that in mind if you guys want to grow fruit trees. You got to definitely put in some time and work, especially if you guys have bad soil. So like I said, gypsum, compost, and topsoil, spread it through your soil and amend it. And that stuff will work itself out over time. As far as watering, guys, the first week I had this tree, I hand watered it every day. And then after that, I haven't watered it since. I obviously do have sprinklers, but between just rainwater and my sprinklers, they're on 2 or 3 times a week. That's all it takes. Not too complicated as far as that. Do not overthink the watering. I know a lot of new fruit tree growers, even myself, you stress out, you buy this tree, you want it to do well, and so you think, oh, it needs water, well, don't do that. If the tree looks good, if it's putting out new growth and it's green, don't overwater it, don't overthink it. The plant will talk to you and tell you what it needs. So that's just one tip that I try to tell everybody, is just do not overwater. And you guys can see here, this is actually on a slope, so all my water kind of runs down this way. So I kind of set it up like that. That way, the water runs down and then it keeps running out behind my fence. So that's how I did it. And it seemed to work really well. No problems with watering. Even the heat. I did shade these this year just because it was the first year. So I did shade them earlier in the summertime. But I don't think you need to. Honestly, I think it would have been fine. Let me show you guys some in here too. So you can see I'm training the branches. So the branches actually used to be this way towards the fence. And now let me come around here. I have the branches pointing this way. So I have them pointing in my yard, 2 reasons. 1, obviously for shade, so it shades my yard. And 2, so my branches don't grow into my neighbor's yards. We've all had neighbors that probably want you to cut down your tree or branches or whatever because they don't want it going into their yard. So it's just something to keep in mind, is training your trees. You can see here I'm training this one, and down here this one. So it's done good. I mean, like I said, this branch was literally straight and I angled it, and now it's growing. So when I first got it, all this here was all bare. Now all this new growth, like I said, it hasn't gotten taller, but it's gotten a lot thicker and more flush. Let's see. Oh, as far as fruiting, this fruits in the summer and fall time. It is a type B avocado tree. It is self-pollinating, so you don't need to have 2. I would recommend 2 because you'll get more consistent fruiting and a bigger harvest. So I'll make a video on this one too, but I do have a hoss over here, which I will be making a video on later. But yeah, you only need 1, guys. So if you don't have room to do 2, this is self-pollinating and will get you fruit. I think that's about it, guys. If I left anything out, let me know in the comments. If you guys have any other further questions, let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. Texas Roots and Fruits out.